Welcome to the last session of this topic, electrostatics. Now, after clearly knowing Gauss law, we shall move to the three very important applications of Gauss law. Okay? So, we can use Gauss law to find the electric intensity at a point due to infinitely long, uniformly charged wire. There is a wire which is uniformly charged and infinitely long. Okay? So what is the electric intensity at this point due to this wire? Using Gauss law, we can do that. The next application, okay, we shall take up later. First we shall do this. Okay? So this is an infinitely long, uniformly charged wire. This is a conductor. When charges are given, charges will get distributed to the entire wire, along the wire, to the entire wire. Okay? Let lambda be the charge per unit length. That is linear charge density of the wire. Right? Okay. So we shall derive expression for the electric intensity at this point, at a certain point near the wire, using Gauss law. To apply Gauss law, what we need? A closed surface. Now, assume a Gaussian cylinder like this around this wire, passing through P and radius R. This as axis, wire as the axis. Okay? Now, assume a Gaussian cylinder passing through P and the wire as axis of the cylinder like this. Okay. Let E be the electric intensity at P. The Gaussian surface is divided into three parts. One upper circular surface, lower circular surface, and then curved surface. Now we shall calculate the electric flux through this surface 1, surface 2 and surface 3. We shall add them. That gives the total electric flux. Then we shall apply Gauss law. We will get the expression for electric intensity. Now at the upper surface, electric intensity is like this along the horizontal direction. Normal to the surface will be along the vertical direction. Therefore, theta is 90 degree, cos 90 degree is 0. The flux through the upper surface is 0. E ds cos 90 degree, cos 90 degree is 0. 0. If you multiply by 0, we will get 0. Similarly, through the lower circular surface is d by 2. The same thing. Here also theta is 90 degree. Electric field is like this. Normal is like this. Electric flux is 0. Okay. Now, through the curved surface, you see, what is the electric flux? That is d by 3 equals E area, under the area of the curved surface. What is the area of the curved surface? That is nothing but, you see, this is circular surface, this is nothing but circle. If I open this is nothing but circumference, this is nothing but length or height of the cylinder. Therefore, area of this rectangle is length into breadth, that is nothing but 2 pi r into L. And theta is 0 degree. E is along this direction. Normal is also along the same direction. Therefore, it is cos 0 degree, cos 0 is 1. Therefore, it becomes E into 2 pi r L. the total electric flux is d pi 1 plus d pi 2 plus d pi 3. It is nothing but E into 2 pi r L. Okay? From Gauss law, what we can do? The total electric flux is given by 1 by epsilon times the charge enclosed by this Gaussian cylinder. Summation d pi is nothing but E into 2 pi r L equals 1 by epsilon times the charge. Therefore, E equals 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught r into Q divided by L. Q by L is nothing but linear charge density. Therefore, electric intensity at this point is given by lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into r. This gives the expression for electric intensity. We easily derive the expression for E using Gauss law. This is the very important application. Please understand, the Gaussian cylinder should be closed surface. So what type of surface we have assumed? Gaussian cylinder, cylindrical surface. To apply Gauss law, so to make the work simple, we divided the surface into 3 parts. One, upper circular surface, lower, and the circular surface, curved surface. Okay. Next we shall move to the second application, that is, we shall find the electric intensity at a point due to infinitely long, uniformly charged plane sheet. Okay? Understand the heading? Using Gauss law. This is a plane sheet. This is a plane sheet. This is uniformly charged. This is uniformly charged. Now our intention is to find the electric intensity near this surface. Okay? Using Gauss law. So to use Gauss law, what we have to do? We have to consider a closed surface. Here also, we will consider the closed surface as the cylindrical surface. Assume a Gaussian cylinder, this is a cylindrical surface, as Gaussian surface into the plane sheet. Okay? A part of the cylinder will be to this surface, this side, another part will be to this side. Okay? This side is represented by this. This side is represented by this color. Okay? Now, here the electric field will be like this, and theta will be, normal will also be along the same direction. Therefore, theta is 0 degree. In this second circular surface, theta is 0 degree. The same thing. Okay? Therefore, electric flux through surface 1 is E into ds into cos 0 degree. Cos 0 is 1. Therefore, it is nothing but E into ds. Through the second surface, we have the same thing. E ds into cos 0 degree. The same thing, E ds. Through the third circular surface, this circular surface, electric field will be like this along the surface. Normal will be perpendicular to the surface. Therefore, theta is 90 degree. Therefore, d pi 3 is E ds into cos 90 degree. Cos 90 degree is 0. This becomes 0. The total electric flux through this Gaussian cylinder is given by this plus this plus this. D pi 1 plus d pi 2 plus d pi 3. That is nothing but 2 into E ds plus 0. Okay? Now, we shall apply Gauss law. Yes. Using Gauss law, what does it states? The total electric flux through the Gaussian surface, that is Gaussian cylinder, is 1 by epsilon times the charge enclosed. Summation d pi is nothing but 2e into ds equals 1 by epsilon times the charge enclosed. This is the charge enclosed. Okay? So this Q, but we know that surface charge density is given by charge enclosed, charge per unit area. Therefore, Q equals sigma into ds. If we substitute for Q, we will get 2E into ds equals 1 by epsilon times sigma into ds. This ds goes, we are left with E equals sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. This gives a very clear expression for electric intensity near a charged spherical surface. Okay? So how fine we clearly find out. This is the second application. Now we shall derive an expression for electric intensity due to a uniformly charged spherical shell. The third application of Gauss law. This is also very, very important. Okay. So please read the heading once again. Consider a uniformly charged spherical shell. Shell means inside the shell it is empty. At the shell, charges are given uniformly. Let Q be the charge on the shell, O be the center of the shell, R be the radius of the shell. Okay? Let P be any point at a distance small r from O. Our aim is to find the electric intensity at this point due to this charged spherical shell using Gauss law. How to use Gauss law? Gauss law is applicable only for closed surface. Therefore, assume a Gaussian spherical surface passing through P and O as center. Okay? So this is the charged spherical shell. Charges are given all over these things. Another spherical surface is assumed as Gaussian surface. Let ds be a small area on the Gaussian surface at P. The electric flux through the Gaussian surface through ds is given by E ds into cos, cos theta. So what is the value of theta? Theta is the angle between the electric field and the normal to ds. Normal is also in this direction, electric field is also in the same direction. Therefore, it is 0 degree. Okay? If I consider the area here, electric field is like this, normal is also like that. If I consider here, both of them are in this direction. If I consider here, same direction. At all points, electric intensity, magnitude of electric intensity is same and E is normal to the Gaussian surface. Therefore, theta is 0. The total electric flux is given by E into summation ds into cos 0 is 1. So, summation ds means this is ds, ds. Therefore, if you add all ds's, if you integrate, if you add, so the sum of all these ds's is nothing but the total surface area of the Gaussian surface. So, what is the total surface area of a sphere? It is given by 4 pi into radius square. This is the sphere we consider. Therefore, it is this much. So now, this is the total electric flux what we have calculated. Now we shall use Gauss law. From Gauss law, what does Gauss law states? The total electric flux is given by 1 by epsilon times the charge enclosed by this surface. Charge enclosed is Q. So therefore, if you substitute for d pi, summation d pi, it is E into 4 pi r square equals 1 by epsilon naught times Q. So if you simplify further, E equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by r square. This is the expression for electric intensity at a point outside a charged spherical shell. Okay? If I consider the point on the surface of the shell, near the surface of the shell, somewhere here, what happens? This small r is almost equal to capital R. Therefore, the expression becomes 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by capital R square. This is the expression for electric field, electric intensity near the surface of charged spherical shell. Okay? Now, if I consider the point inside the shell, what happens? This is the charged spherical shell. If I consider the point somewhere here, Gaussian surface will be this. Therefore, whatever the charge we have given lies outside this surface. Okay? The charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is 0. Therefore, the total electric flux E into 4 pi r square equals 1 by epsilon times the charge enclosed is 0. Therefore, electric intensity inside the charged shell is 0. Okay? Electric intensity is 0 means electric flux inside this charged spherical shell is 0. That means flux is 0 means no electric field line exists inside this shell. All the electric field lines arises at the charged surface and are normal to the surface. Okay? Now, so therefore, electric field inside the shell, charged shell is 0. Here it is maximum, then decreases. If I plot the graph of, if this is the charged spherical shell, then if this is distance, okay, now the electric field till the surface is 0, E is 0. At this surface it becomes maximum, this is the value, then decreases gradually as inversely as r square. This is 1 by r square. Okay? This is the graph of electric field versus the distance from the center of the charged spherical shell. I hope so you clearly understand. So the three very important applications of Gauss law. Okay? If you have any doubts, go for references, refer any textbook, either NCERT or any notes. If you find any doubts regarding these things, so you can call me, I can clear your doubts. Anyhow, electrostatics, this what we did so far is very important and very basic. So in the next session, we shall see electric potential. Thank you.